So there has been a lot of discussion and fallout from T.I.'s recent interview on Nadia and Nazanin's podcast, Ladies Like Us. As you know, he went onto their podcast and he divulged some really personal information about his daughter, Deja, and how he basically checks to see if she's still a virgin by visiting the gynecologist with her and seeing if her hymen is still intact. It has definitely opened the floodgates of discussion about what it means to be a protective parent, or is it possessive? So, in the last couple of days or so, the women that were hosting this podcast, Nazanin and Nadia, they got dragged in this. People were upset that these ladies were laughing, so they went on to their platform and issued this apology. They said, to everyone confused, angry, and hurt by the recent episode of Ladies Like Us, we want to start off by saying that we sincerely apologize for our knee-jerk reaction to the uncomfortable topic. We were completely caught off guard, shocked, and looking back, we should have reacted much differently in the moment. The comments that were made and the reaction that followed are not in any way a reflection of our personal views on the topic. We support and love women and feel that their bodies are theirs to do as they wish. There was absolutely no ill intent toward any party involved and feel deeply awful about the entire incident. We are not perfect, take full accountability of our lack of action, and are continuously learning along the way. We know an apology doesn't make this go away, but we welcome the discussion. That's what our podcast is about. So they were getting dragged for it because, in my opinion, I just thought it was kind of like a nervous energy, a nervous laugh, like they didn't know how to respond to it. But of course, they were getting dragged, so they had to say something. And they deleted that part of the podcast out. So they kind of like took that entire section out. This has led to a lot of discussions online, of course. I saw a lot of comments. First, you saw the tide against T.I. at first, right? So there was a lot of people that, including myself, that was like, you know what, this is too much. This is way too much. I understand him being a protective father, but this is too much. But then I started seeing all these comments with more from men. But some women too were saying like, you know what, those of you that are mad about him checking her hymen are just, y'all didn't have a dad. Y'all just mad because y'all didn't have daddies raising y'all, and that's why y'all are upset. And I'm just thinking to myself, I feel like people are missing the point about this. It is not about being a protective father. I can't imagine any father out here wanting their daughter to go out and have sex, okay? I don't imagine any mother wanting their daughter to go out and have sex. But what you do want to make sure is that they at least know what the deal is and they know what the consequences are. And of course, you would like to discourage them from engaging in that until they are old enough to take responsibility for whatever happens as a result of it, right? So you talk to your kids. And I'm just thinking, all these people that are taking up for T.I. and saying, yes, I would do it too. If I was a dad, I would check my daughter's hymen too. Have you ever considered just talking to your child? And for the record, you checking her hymen, what do you think that's going to do? And so, first of all, it's invasive. That's my number one thing. And what I was most upset about this whole ordeal is that he divulged something so personal about this girl's life that it couldn't be anything but humiliating and embarrassing for her. All right. And for the record, I've been following Deja for a minute, and Deja has always come off to me as a good girl. She has checked older men for coming into her on her comments, saying stuff to her. She has checked them. So for whatever it's worth, T.I., Tiny, Nico, her mother, they've been doing a damn good job with this girl. Okay. But I feel like there is a protective thing and there's a possessive thing. And how he came off to me is possessive. He was possessing his daughter, and it just seemed a bit creepy to me. And like I said, there's a lot of people who feel like, nope, I would have done it too. So I heard all kinds of comments. I've heard DJ Envy and Angela Yee and Charlamagne talk about this, and there was DJ Envy and Charlamagne saying, well, you know, if I go to the doctor with my daughters and I would do it too. And I'm just thinking to myself, y'all are so missing the point here. Y'all missing the point. We know you don't want your young girls to have sex, But you also have to make sure you keep that same energy with boys. Don't just have all that energy for the girls and don't check your sons too. Because let's be clear. In my opinion, a boy that's, his out here having sex can do far more damage than one girl can do. One young girl could have a baby a year. A boy out here on the loose with no parental guidance, no understanding of what he could do with his penis, could go out here and father many children in 1 year. So who really needs to be checked? Seriously, who needs the checking? And T.I. made it perfectly clear, if you had heard the podcast in general, that he does not have that same kind of energy when it comes to his boys. He does not. He doesn't. He doesn't check his boys the way he would check Deja. And for all these men going all off about this situation, while you're sitting here saying, well, if it was me, I would be checking my daughter's hymen too. When you were out here having sex, if you were having sex as a young person, as a teenager, 18, whatever you were you thinking about that young girl's protective father, how he might have felt that you were having sex with his daughter? If you were not, then again, you can't say nothing. And to me, T.I.'s argument here is null and void once he made the decision and once it came out of his mouth that his boys don't get that same kind of check. Once he made it clear that his boys do not get checked like that, like he checks Deja, to me, it's over. It's null and void. And we know T.I. did not invent being more protective over his girls than he does his boys. A lot of parents are like that. Admittedly so. A lot of parents feel like, you know what? The girls, we have to, keep them over here and hold them over here and don't let anything happen. But our boys, oh, you go ahead, boy. Oh, look at my son, the ladies' man. A lot of people do that. A lot of folks do that. So T.I. did not invent that. So I'm not going to kill him over that kind of thinking because a lot of parents actually think that way. But I do find that a lot of people are sitting here saying, well, we don't understand, just because we didn't have dads, the people that's upset didn't have a dad. And that's just not the case. That's not true. That is absolutely not the case. A lot of us did have fathers in our lives. And we also had a mother to go to talk to them about these kind of situations. Okay? That's just how it is. And another thing, because I feel like I'm on the road this morning, going with her to the gynecologist, check her hymen or whatever, even though it can be broken in different kind of ways, and the doctor made that clear, it could. It's not going to stop her from having sex. Now, she might get more clever and move around differently since you are on the warpath and looking at her like that and checking and stuff. She might be more clever about it because kids, when those kids that came from very strict households, while some of them might have just been scared shitless about stuff and they didn't even try it, a lot of kids just moved around a little bit more stealthily, right? You think about the preacher's kids. Some of the wildest kids we know out here are preacher's kids, right? They had the fear of God scared into them. And a lot of them, that didn't stop them from going out here and doing stuff. They just snuck around a little bit more, cleverly. That's all they did. All they did is move around a little differently. They learned how to navigate and move around that. So it did not necessarily stop them from engaging in sexual activity. They just start to sneak around a little bit more. So you're not, at the end of the day, I don't care how many times T.I. wants to get his daughter's hymen checked, it is not going to stop her from having sex. I think this is more about the type of man she might end up choosing. Sometimes people have to understand this. Sometimes karma doesn't hit us from the stuff that we've done out here in this world. Sometimes it hits the people that we love the most. And T.I. might actually be more worried about the fact that she might actually go out here and engage with somebody that's just like him. And I'm sure that scares him. T.I. does not have the greatest track record when it comes to being, engaging in a meaningful, loving relationship with one woman. We've heard so much about his infidelity and stuff like that. So I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that he doesn't want that karma to hit his daughter, because she might mess around and get with a man just like him. Because you listen, T.I. got 2 kids that's the same age. Okay, Deja and I think it's Damani. Damani and Deja, I believe, are both 18 years old. So T.I. was jumping from bed to bed to bed to bed out here in these streets. That's why I'm saying I feel like he should really have that kind of energy for his boys, if you really want to stop and think about it, because he was having multiple kids. I think Damani and Deja are, they're both 18. I think Messiah is 19. So he was literally jumping from woman to woman to woman. Okay? So T.I. really should consider having, like I said, that same energy for his boys, who could, again, do far more damage out here than his daughter when it comes to creating multiple children with multiple women. Just keep that same energy with the boys. I don't think there's anything wrong with the father protecting and loving his children, not wanting them to do some of the things that they did. That's why you talk to them. You can have open discussions. I don't even know if Deja could trust him at this point. Would she be able to have an open discussion with her father now that he's told the whole world about her sexual health? The first thing he should have done is try to at least establish some kind of trust between him and Deja. And he just broke that by going on the internet and talking about her hymen. So that right there in itself, I don't even know if she would want to talk to him at this point. So I don't know. I'm just kind of ranting and raving this morning, but that just bothered me. I see a lot of people now taking up for T.I. and saying he's being protective. Any dad would do that. But again, there's a difference between being protective of your children and being possessive of them. They are not your property. Okay? And she is now of age, and whatever decision she makes, he just has to hope that he has instilled the right kind of values in her, that she will make those kind of decisions. But I think this is nothing but T.I. is worried about her being with somebody like him at the end of the day. So I'm done with this. You guys let me know what you think. I'm going to go ahead, get out here, go to work, get in this traffic, and I guess I will see you guys on the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and later.